So, hey, welcome. This is Tina and John
Hey,
at My Mobility Medics. And, people rent equipment from us all the time. And sometimes we get phone calls that say something like, oh, my scooter's not operational. It worked when I loaded it in the car, and now we've gotten it back out and we put it back together and we can't get it to work. What do we do? So, we made a handy dandy little troubleshooting sheet for you. And I'm going to read some of these things. You can also find this on our website at www.mymobilitymedics.com and go under rent it. If you go under rent it, right there on that page at the very bottom is this troubleshooting sheet also. All right. So, John, if we're having trouble with our power equipment that we have and I can't get it to operate, I turned it on and I'm hearing five beeps. What do I do?
so that's a question that comes up all the time. So what it is the unit is in neutral.
Did you hear the five beeps? The five beeps say, please put me in drive. And so John is going to show you that right now you can push it.
Yep.
It'll move. That's one of the first questions we ask people. If you push it and it moves, it is in neutral, just like your car. So he's going to go to the back of this scooter and he's going to flip the lever. Now, different scooters have different levers. Most of them are pretty easy to see. Some of them might be hidden under the back shroud just a little bit.
Which makes it very important that when we're in the shop, we show you how to assemble and disassemble the scooter. You really need to pay attention to that.
Absolutely. Yeah. So pay attention to how it goes together. We'll do that in a minute too. At the end, we'll assemble and disassemble. Now he just turned it on after he flipped that lever from N to D and the scooter didn't beep and it operates forward and backwards.
But the only way to reset it is you have to turn it back off and then turn it on.
Absolutely. Very good. All right. Another thing might be, I have on here, it says circuit breaker needs to be reset. What does that mean, John?
Well, what happens is sometimes, not very often, only a couple of times, maybe once a year, there's a little circuit breaker on the very front of the battery box on this one. So different places is different things.
And what do you and the techs call that?
We call it the little turkey pop out thing. So what happens is it pops out when it overheats, and so something's happened, such as like the very first time it happened that I saw it, the customer was riding in a power wheelchair and got a throw rug caught up in the wheels, and it just kept spinning on the throw rug and overheated, and it popped off instead of damaging the scooter. So real easy fix, let it sit for 15 minutes, push the button, remove whatever you were doing, and then it's back in gear.
All right, since you got that battery pack out,
Sure.
Hold that for just a moment. And what I was going to say is sometimes it doesn't get seated correctly when you put your battery pack back.
Yes, that is very true. And the best way to show you is to lift the seat off. Uh-oh. Very important that you don't try to jerk the seat. You got to just lift it off very carefully.
So straight up and down. And
make sure it sits in there, and it usually clicks in. And if you don't, if you set it like that right there, it won't come on, and it's pretty obvious. See? So you have to get it to sit in there. So there we go.
So then it's seated in the right spot. The battery indicator lights come on your tiller again, and you're operational. If you again heard five beeps and because you had it in freewheel, make sure it's in drive so that it would actually go for you. Very good. Another one is some people talk about if they're like, say they're going to Dollywood and they're going up and down a hill and the scooter's hesitating or it won't pull that hill. Why does it do that? Well,
there's a lot of reasons. It could be the batteries need to be charged. It could be that the overweight on the scooter. All these scooters are labeled with a weight that they can handle.
Yes. So you could be reaching that maximum weight capacity limit.
And batteries are tired.
And the batteries are tired because you've been at it all day. So even though it said 6 to 8 miles that you could go on that scooter that you were going, or an 18-hour, even if you had rented one of the bigger scooters and it had the bigger batteries, it says you can go 18 miles on that, and you're still going up that hill and you see all the power drop If someone got behind you and pushed just a little bit, you're going to see all of those power lights come all the way back up. But those are, once again, just indicators as to where you are. So get back on a flat surface, test it, see what's going on with it, and like,
Give us a call.
yeah, and you can give us a call anytime for that.
Really don't
too.
want to push it unless you have to, and only push it in the freewheel or neutral.
So another one is, people say, will this run on the beach or will it run in the grass?
Okay,
Don't shake
so-
your head too hard.
Okay. Yeah, you hear it rattling. So, all right. So, beach, no. Soft, loose sand, dirt, things like that, no. So, our thing here is at My Mobility Medics. One of the most important things is safety. Is safety for our customer friends. Is safety for our people who work here, and it's very important that we maintain this high level of safety. And if you ride one of these scooters on the beach, you may be able to do it, but the tires are too skinny. Have you ever seen a beach wheelchair? The tires are over a foot thick. If you ride it on the beach, you are surely sooner or later it'll rust out. Everything that goes on a beach rusts out sooner or later.
Which that brought up another point, that is, what if it's raining?
Raining. Okay, here. I don't have what I would like. I wish I had something, but it's perfect. So if you get caught in a rainstorm,
Plastic bag.
just put a plastic bag over the tiller. That's the most vulnerable thing. Everything else is pretty much covered. The battery is covered. The controllers are covered. The transaxle is sealed. So that's not, all that will be fine.
Or if you're wearing a poncho, I tell people, just throw that poncho over the tiller.
Or lean over it.
Or lean over it. Have your spouse walk with an umbrella. No, I'm just teasing. But that main thing is to keep that key area dry, because you don't want it to gather moisture and then not operate for you when you want it to work the next day. All right, last thing I want to talk about is, what if they're traveling or flying on an airplane with a rented piece of equipment?
Wow. Airlines are really rough on luggage that they take on board, and it's no different with scooters and power wheelchairs. And we have customers that come in here seemingly regularly that have broken pieces, but the only way that the airlines or whoever else will fix it is if you let them know right away. As soon as, if something is damaged, if you have a broken shroud or missing batteries or something, you have to let the airlines know immediately.
Right.
Otherwise, they won't do anything.
And when you bring it into us and we do the inspection and it's missing something, or we found out that there's holes in the seat, or that a wheel has gotten flat because they didn't put it in free will to push it onto the airplane, they actually left it in drive and pushed it, and it skidded, and now it has a flat mark on that tire. Those would still be things that you'd be responsible for, and we're trying to help you.
Yeah, we don't want
not
that.
have any issues while you're doing it. We want you to enjoy the equipment. Our equipment's been all over the place. It's been to Europe, it's been to France, it's been to Russia, it's been on cruise ships.
Disneyland,
It's been to Disney World for sure. Oh, at Norway on a Norwegian cruise just recently, and then to Puerto Rico. So it was just, scooters can go anywhere.
Except the beach.
Except the beach. ADA compliance says that a mobility device flies for free. It does not count as luggage, and they cannot charge you on your airlines.
However,
But
please check with your airlines before you do any kind of travel,
absolutely.
because they're the ones, we've heard stories about TSA people being kind of particular about things.
So take before and after pictures of your equipment if they're loading it onto an airline or a ship or anything. So you take a picture of it, you know what it looked like before you gave it to them, and then take a picture when you get it back. And then that's the easiest way to show, hey, it didn't look like this before you took it.
There is a couple of other things we want to make sure you realize. These baskets come off, and in fact, we tell people that we normally don't include the basket in the rental, because if it breaks, it's kind of a pricey item. But most of the time, people are willing to do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so here's something on the tiller. I'm not sure if you can see this, but on the front of the tiller, there is an adjustment on most of these scooters that goes up and down. And all you have to do is wiggle that a little bit to get it back in place. And there's also another piece on the front that locks the wheels in place, so it makes it easier to like put in the back of your vehicle or to disassemble or reassemble. But you have to know how to wiggle it back to get it going. So
we're here for you, and just give us a call if you can't figure it out. But we thought maybe with some of these tips, we get you back going again really quickly. Thanks again. My Mobility Medics. Look us up on the web. We'll see you soon.
thank you.